Here's one for you. Have you ever seen this stuff? Embossed lettering. It's lettering that has been specially printed to stick out from the paper. Now, it looks very professional, but it's also very expensive. So why not make your own? All you need is a cheap piece of coloured paper and 2 wax crayons. Now, you can use any colour paper you like apart from white. I've gone for some orange sugar paper, and you need 2 wax crayons, one that's a lighter colour than your paper, so that's yellow wax crayon in this case, and one that's a darker colour than your paper, and I've gone for a brown wax crayon. Now, to do your lettering, you have to decide what it is you want to write first. Now, it could be your name, or you could be making a poster, and the idea is to do thick, chunky lettering. But it's also a good idea to do it very lightly in pencil first, and that's what I've done here. You may just be able to make out the word art there, and I've done this very faintly. Now, to make it embossed and look as if it's sticking out from the paper, just take your light crayon, in this case it's a yellow wax crayon, and just pick out the left-hand lines on each part of each letter. So there's a left-hand line on that part of the letter, and you also need to pick out the left-hand lines and the top lines of each part of the letter. So there's a top line up there like that, and there's a top line on that bar that goes across the A. And then if we go over to the R here, there's a left-hand line that goes down that part of the R, and again there's a left-hand line there in this part, and it's just a case of trying to think, if the light was coming from the left of your picture, which edges would it be shining on if the letters were raised? And let's just go over to the T, and there's a left-hand line there, and then a top line there and there. Now, if the light was over to the left and shining on the top, then the right-hand edges and the bottom edges would be in shadow, and that's what we're going to do now. Take your dark wax crayon and just pick out the right-hand edges of each part of those letters. Look, that stick there on the A, there's a right-hand edge, and on this stick here, there's a right-hand edge there, and a right-hand edge there, and there's a bottom edge, because that would be in shadow, and another bottom edge there. And look at that, that's starting to look embossed. I'll do the same on the other letters. Go along the bottom edges and the right-hand edges of each part of the letter, and there's a bottom edge in there, and that top edge on the R comes round. You've got to watch it on the curved letters, comes round to the right hand and becomes a bottom edge. See that under there, like that, and you've got a right-hand edge there. And just finish off the T, a bottom edge, a bottom edge, a right-hand edge, and a bottom edge, just to finish it off. And there it is, embossed lettering that tricks your eyes into believing that it's raised from the paper. And you know, you can use homemade embossed lettering on lots of different things. How about on your posters for a start? That looks really good, doesn't it? And you could always decorate your exercise books or your drawing books with it. That looks very professional and very expensive. And you know, the great thing about this technique is your lettering doesn't have to be perfect to look great when it's embossed. Try it yourself. Homemade embossed lettering.
Oh, that's really effective. Just take some coloured paper and sketch out some chunky letters. Then use a lighter wax crayon to do all the left hand and top lines on each part of your letters, and use a darker crayon to do the right hand and bottom lines on each part of the letters. Extremely easy embossing.